This week on football, I'll be going through the best ever individual Premier League seasons.
It's Goalpost TV, where the weirdos run free. From John Parkin's Pop to Penis Pants FC. Roy Hodgson swore at Alex's poor mom. And a giant flat baby's been hitting the rum. Nunez is king, Henry can't compete. And Usain Bolt calls the show elite. Two lads, one mic, and no dignity. You'll never be the same after Goalpost TV.
Hello everybody, welcome to This Week on Football. Thank you for joining me once again. Great opportunity right now to go and like the video, and a great opportunity to go and subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more waffle from me. If you haven't already, go to my TikTok. It is officially monetized. We reached the 10k. Thanks for all your support. It's at Alex Goalpost. I'm also at Alex Goalpost over on Instagram. Let's get into it. Right, so this week I've got my team of the week as per usual. I've got my weekend treble, which, by the way, won you money last week and has been winning money all season as well. I have got a couple of things I want to go through, and probably one of the most contentious things at this stage of the season. We've all seen Mo Salah absolutely flying this season, but has he had the most, the best, the most incredible Premier League season of all time? The thing that really irks me about this is, yes, he has on, in terms of stats, yes. But there's a feeling around players when you watch them in a Premier League season where they're just unplayable. And I'm not saying that Salah doesn't have that, but there's some other players I think who have had better seasons. We're going to go through the very best. You can tell me what you think in the comments. Let me know. First one I'm going to go with is this Salah season. Now, we're only, I think, 3-4 games left of the season. He's already had 46 goal contributions. Now, this is a record-breaking season for Salah. It's unbelievable. He's scored 28 times and got 18 assists. Look at that for creativity, getting his other players into play and allowing Liverpool to score all the goals they've scored this season. He's been at the heart of it, scoring himself and assisting. The thing with this title-winning season for Liverpool, it has all been down to Salah. I know Van Dijk's been brilliant. I know midfielders, McAllister, Gravenberch's been really good. Trent's had a good season as well. But it has felt like it's down to Salah. And I think when I'm looking at these players' individual seasons, I want to see a player who's dragged their team to something. And this is why probably some of these teams and players maybe fall short, but I think Salah is right up there. I don't feel, there's something about Salah, I don't feel something when I watch him. And maybe that's, I'm a United fan. Maybe that is because I have bias. But I've included plenty of players that aren't Man United players. And actually, I don't think any of these are players that have played for Man United. They're not. So, look, my bias is out here. This is completely objective. I think Salah's been unbelievable this season, but I don't think he's had the best Premier League season on an individual basis of all time. The next one I've got is Haaland. Haaland's 44 goal contribution season is a record breaker. Now, he's a record breaker because he scored 36 times that season. What a season from Erling Haaland. And I think with Erling Haaland, the thing that always sticks with me is every season he's played in the Premier League, he's almost at a goal a game sort of ratio. He's not had an off season yet. He's had injuries, but he's still kept up that goal tally. He's still up there with one of the top goal scorers this season, despite City's lack of form. But he's been brilliant this season. He's been brilliant since he's come to the Premier League. With Haaland, I think there's another thing that almost comes into play where he's not that kind of beautiful footballer where you watch him and you can't wait to watch him. Salah's almost similar. I want a player who gets me off my seat. Salah's really close. Haaland's fantastic, but the way he plays in this City team maybe doesn't play to some of his strengths that really got us up off our seats when we watched him at Dortmund. I think it's a tough one because Pep plays a very certain system and that system wins titles. Haaland is kind of the linchpin of that, but he's not getting me off my seat. He's scoring goals, but he's not getting me off my seat. The next one player that definitely did get me off this seat during his season is probably one of the strangest seasons because it was the real emergence of Jamie Vardy. That title-winning season, and I want a player to drag a team to a title. Kante was brilliant. Riyad Mahrez was outstanding. But Jamie Vardy's goals, his consecutive goals throughout that season, and then to take Leicester to the unthinkable and win a Premier League title, this has to be up there. That season, he recorded 26 goals and 6 assists. That's 30 goal involvements for the striker as well. It was unbelievable. No one expected it, and it was so off the cuff. I don't think anyone still believes it to this day that Leicester actually won a title, and Jamie Vardy was everything. He was everything. He's everything you want in football. He was aggressive. He was tenacious. He got the fans off their seat. And it was like the story that you wanted to see. There's so many title wins with City, with Liverpool in the past where you're kind of like, them. With Leicester, everybody wanted Leicester to win that league title that season, apart from Tottenham fans. It was a season that I don't think it'll ever be replicated. And Jamie Vardy during that season, he's definitely up there for me. Suarez season in 2013-14. Now, Liverpool didn't win the title that season. They were very close, but Luis Suarez was the reason why they would have won that title that season. That season, he had 43 goal contributions, 31 goals and 12 assists, by the way. So 31 goals is outrageous in itself, but 12 assists as well. So really getting everyone playing around him. He was something different that season. He scored 0 penalties, by the way, that season, Luis Suarez. So that has to come into it as well. He was scoring outrageous goals. He was scoring from outside the box, inside the box, ridiculous finishes. And then obviously what he went on to do at Barcelona was incredible. I think he even went on to another step there. For me, the Vardy season's almost up there, but I think Suarez as an individual that season, he's my number one at this point. The next one. Now, this is something that I went off on a little bit of a tangent from last season. When I did this previously, I talked about Gareth Bale being the best ever individual season. Now, Gareth Bale didn't win anything that season. Tottenham didn't really win anything. I think they got into Europe. But what Gareth Bale did that season, 25 goal involvements. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 21 goals and 4 assists. He scored a record 9 times from outside the box. He was picking the ball up, putting it into the top corner and winning Tottenham games out of nothing. Tottenham were pretty poor that season, but Gareth Bale that season was... I've never seen anything like it, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like it, because 9 goals from outside of the box, it was the emergence of Gareth Bale as a world-class player. We knew that he had supreme talent, and he was really getting up there. But then that was the season that got him that massive move to Real Madrid. And I think he was brilliant at Real Madrid as well. Very underrated there. Is he the best? I felt very strongly about this last season. And it's funny how times change and how different things come into play. But I think I'm almost changing my mind. I think Bale, he was a phenomenon. And from an individual basis, he was fantastic. But I do feel more and more now that I want to see a player drag a team to something. And because Tottenham didn't achieve anything that season, I maybe don't think he's up there. A player who did achieve something in the season, I actually said there's no United players. There's one. Robin van Persie. His title-winning season to get Man United their 20th Premier League title when he scored 26 times with 9 assists. That season was outrageous. He came from Arsenal, massive move. It was a controversial move, but Sir Alex brought him in to win Man United a title, and that he did. That team, we all know when we look at that team going back, Sir Alex wasn't really working with the best group of players, the best crop of players, but he still managed to win a Premier League title, and Robin van Persie was the heart of that. The goals that he scored, the importance of the goals that he scored. I think back the games against when he won that game almost single-handedly against Man City in the derby. The unbelievable goal that won Man United the title in that Villa game at Old Trafford. He's got to be up there. For me, I actually don't think it's better than Bale's season. And I know I'm contradicting myself a little bit there, but the fact that Man United won the title, it does do something for me. But in fact that Bale got me off my seat every single week was something else. I'm having Bale or Suarez still. The last one that's coming into play, and I think this is a real contender, is Thierry Henry's season. This is a 44 goal contribution season. 24 goals, 20 assists. He was the first player to ever record 20 plus of both category. Thierry Henry, for me, is the best player that's ever played in the Premier League. He has been maybe a player that almost gets forgotten. As years go on, I know we all love Thierry and we all think he's amazing, but when you see Suarez and Ronaldo and Rooney and, you know, Salah these days, the debates come and then almost Henry, you forget. I'm not forgetting how good Henry was in the Premier League. Absolutely not. If you want a player who can do everything and get you off your seat and then also do something with Arsenal, and, you know, they won the league the following season. They went through the unbeatables period, but I think that season during the, I think it's 02-03 season, I think that was best. That was his best season. You know, 24 goals, 20 assists is outrageous. For me, the more I think about it, I can't settle on this debate. You're going to have to help me. Who is? Do you know what? I'm not even going to give you an answer. You tell me who has had the best individual Premier League season of all time. I'll let you fight it out in the comments if you like. Right, let's do my team of the week, the part of the show where I tell you my favourite players from the week of the games I've watched. So the players that I've watched are 90 minutes. Let's start in goal. This was a weird one because he was on the back of a battering, but in goal, Max O'Leary. He made 8 out of the 12 saves he was required. Unfortunately, the other ones beat him, but Leeds were phenomenal in that game. They were a class above. Bristol City should absolutely be nowhere near getting promoted into the Premier League. I think everyone who's watched them probably look at them as the worst side that's ever potentially got promoted. And if they get promoted, wow. But Max O'Leary was fantastic. Some outstanding saves as well. Has to go in there. Right back, match winner, cup winner, Jules Koundé scored the winning goal for Barcelona in extra time. He was brilliant all game. Really tough job, always defending against Vinicius Jr., but I thought he was really good. I actually thought he was a difference, and scoring that goal, taking that shot on, no one expected him to shoot, and he just slotted it into the bottom corner past Courtois. It was an amazing game if you didn't watch it. Fantastic game, absolutely loved it. Entertainment from start to finish, and felt like one of the old classicos as well. Centre back. Let's start with a player that I don't think is getting the recognition he deserves this season. There's a lot of players at Palace who obviously have had really good seasons. You know, Mateta gets the headlines, Eze gets the headlines when Palace score absolutely outrageous goals, which Eze has done the last couple of weeks. Ismail Assar, Adam Wharton in midfield. The player that I think gets maybe not the recognition he deserves, considering it's his first season in the Premier League, is Maxence Lacroix. First season in the Premier League for Palace. A Palace side that has struggled at times. He has been brilliant for them. Mark Guay obviously was linked at the start of the season with a big move away. I think Lacroix has been better than him this season. I think he's been a revelation since he's come to Palace. Nobody talks about him. Nobody thinks he's any good apart from Palace fans. But I'm telling you now, Lacroix has been brilliant. He's still fairly young in terms of centre-back age. I think he's 26. So there's still a big future for him. I think Palace made a really, really clever signing with Lacroix. He's got pace. We all know him for his pace. But he's got diligence, he's got a head, he's got a brain, and he knows how to. Do you know what it is? It's when a player's running through and he can just usher them out. I love that in a centre back. Like, a lot of centre backs can get run past, particularly in the Premier League. It's so physical, it's so fast paced. Lacroix can handle that, and I think he's been a brilliant signing. And Oliver Glasner, I think he's getting the most out of that Palace side. And Lacroix, though, I think that's an added bit of quality. I really rate this guy. Alongside him, I've gone Josko Gvardiol. People forget Gvardiol's only 23 years old. He's the top goal-scoring defender in the league this season. He's a goal threat, but he's a really, really solid centre-back. He's a versatile defender as well. Can play left-back, as we've seen majority of the time this season. And when he's asked to play centre-back, which I think, did City sign him for that? Because I felt like they did. I've always thought of Gvardiol as a centre-half, but he's played left-back most of his career at City, and he's been really good. I think his best position could be left back, but yeah, in terms of getting forward, what a player. In terms of getting back, very, very solid, very, very good player. Left back, here's a player who's definitely emerging and someone who I am starting to look at and think, do you know what? They've got a player here. Man City have got a star-studded team. Nico O'Reilly looks like he's going to be a fixture in that City side for a long, long time. 20 years old. Rico Lewis has got all the headlines last season, and rightly so, because I think he's a brilliant player as well. But O'Reilly, wow, what a player. First touch, this is what I'm asking of a young player. Are you good under pressure? Are you good in tight situations? Can you play the ball with confidence and get forward? I love that from O'Reilly. He's a central midfielder, probably by trade. Well, he's played everywhere. This is the thing I love about City side. I don't like much, but they've got a player in every position who could sit in midfield. It's mad. And this is what Guardiola wants. He signs players who are good enough to step in midfield. Brilliant on the ball, clever, intelligent, and not wasteful with the ball. They always make the right pass, and O'Reilly can do that. I don't know if anyone saw, but if you haven't, go and look it up. There's a goal he scored. I think it was for the under-21s for City, where he scored a scorpion kick goal in like the last minute to win City the game in the under-21s. He's a player with a massive, massive future. Could play for England one day. Right, let's rattle through these. Central midfield. I swear I put this guy in my team of the week every single week, but it's Scott McTominay. Italian fans laughed at Man United for selling Scott McTominay in the summer, and I was devastated. I think a lot of United fans were probably a little bit 50-50. We were torn. But Scott McTominay was a player for me that I think Man United needed to keep. He's having an unbelievable season. To say that he couldn't do it at Man United, but then he's about to win a Scudetto, possibly. He's dragging that Napoli side all the way, and Inter are fumbling at the last hurdle. Scott McTominay, big goals, big moments. He is that guy. I absolutely love Scott McTominay. I've talked about him being misprofiled as maybe a sitting central defender, central midfielder who has been maybe... Yeah, misprofiled is probably the right word, but I think a lot of people didn't realise his qualities, his attributes. The best attributes of Scott McTominay is arriving in the box with his head, can finish, by the way, like a striker, but he can run with the ball. He's technical. He's got a really, really good burst of pace, and he's very, very physical and strong. I'm not asking Scott McTominay to go about winning tackles and duels. That's not the sort of player he is. Just because he's tall and physical, it doesn't mean that's the sort of player that he is, and maybe that's not the best way to get the most out of him. I think Napoli have absolutely nailed it with the signing with Scott McTominay, and I think he's been maybe the player that I think Napoli didn't realise they needed. Kvaratskhelia got the move to PSG, and you're looking at that Napoli side thinking, where are they going to get the goals? Scott McTominay, unbelievable. I said I'm going to rattle through these. Pedri in midfield as well. I've put him in there. My word, the comparisons between Pedri and Bellingham this week have really, really frustrated me because they're very different players. And a lot of people watched that Clasico, or didn't actually watch that Clasico, but saw that Barca won, saw pictures of Bellingham with his head in his hands and maybe, angry, thinking Bellingham had a bad game. He didn't. He was really, really good. And I think he matched Pedri in that game. But Pedri came out as the winner. What a player Pedri is. He's the best midfielder in the world at the moment for me. Him and Bellingham is close. But Pedri, in terms of what he does, is so different. But it's so much like other players we've seen Spain produce. Your Iniestas, those players like David Silva, neat, tidy, but what a centre of gravity, can get past the player with just a little shimmy of his body. It's unbelievable to watch. I love Pedri. Let's go on to right wing. This is another player from that game. Sometimes I have to pinch myself to realise that this guy is 17 years old. He is the best 17-year-old that has ever played the game and will ever play the game. There is not another player on this planet that has been past or present or in the future that will ever get to the levels that Lamine Yamal is currently at. He's one of the best wingers in the world at 17 years old. It's not even fair what he does. He is the best player on the pitch almost every time Barcelona step out onto the pitch. Without him, Barcelona are a much worse side. They're about to go into a Champions League game that maybe they win, maybe they don't. But Lamine Yamal, I'm telling you, will be the reason why Barcelona win or don't win the Champions League this season. They probably will win La Liga. Most of it's down to him. I've got some stats for you on Lamine Yamal, which is outrageous. 17 years old, we know that. But he's got 34 goal involvements this season. He's 17. That's inexplicable. We talk about Pele of the past, winning a World Cup. I understand. Amazing achievement for the time. But if you put Lamine Yamal back in those days, honestly, people would have executed him for witchcraft. I've talked about Messi before saying that, but Lamine Yamal is a different step. He's a different step to any player I've ever seen. He will go down 100% as one of the greatest players that's ever played the game. He's only 17 and he's going to go down as one of the greatest players that's ever played the game. Like I said, I have to pinch myself to realise what I'm looking at when I watch him. He's sublime. Let's go left wing, and I'm shoehorning him in here because I wanted to include him, but João Pirro, can he do it in the Premier League? We'll see. But he's definitely the best finisher in the Championship. The assist that he provided for Wilfried Gnonto, outside of the boot, 54-yard pass, perfectly into his path, and Gnonto scored the goal. But Pirro, when he's not involved in scoring, he does create. He's got assists this season. He's the top goal scorer in the Championship this season, and well deserved. I think he had a really stop-start to his career at Leeds, and this start of the season wasn't really clicking for him, but towards the end he's been phenomenal, and I had to put him in there. I wanted to fit him in there. We'll see. Can he do it in the Premier League? I honestly don't know. I think if Leeds go up, they'll be a little bit more savvy. They'll be a little bit more well equipped. They'll know what they need to do. Daniel Farke's been there before, and if he stays on as manager for next season, I think Pirro likes playing under him. You can see that, so we'll see. Striker finishing off this team. If United are going to win anything and not have an absolute disgrace of a season, I think it all hinges on one man, and I think that's Rasmus Højlund, because Man United have put up XGs. Now, I know XG is a stat that people hate, but they've put up XGs that should be leading to wins or at least not getting beat. Every single game we watch as United fans, we watch Rasmus Højlund not on the end of things. We know he can finish. We know he's physical. We know he's super quick as well. He's lacking confidence. Man United can't afford a player who lacks confidence at this stage of the season. I think it's a career saver. He's got 5 or 6 games where he either gets sold in the summer, goes out on loan, or his career comes to an end at Man United. If he turns around and scores a couple of goals, crucial goals, maybe something in the Europa League to get Man United to a final, then people will start turning around on him, because I see a player in him. I do see a player on him, but I don't see a player that is fit and ready to play in the Premier League every single week. And I don't see a player that's got the ability to put on that Man United shirt. We'll see what it comes of him, but I think he's a player that's got so much potential. He scored the goal. You can see what it meant to him against Bournemouth in the week, but he now needs to get into those positions and just get on the end of things. I don't care if it's a scrappy goal, if it's a 2-yard tap in. He needs to start posting the numbers, because Man United cannot afford a player who's going to be their central focus for getting goals to score 4 goals a season. It's just never going to work. Right, let's go on. Let's move on to my weekend treble. Last week, for anyone who backs it, I've heard a few people back it. I've spoken to people in person who said they backed it, and a lot of you might have lost a bit of faith in me. But I kept faith in myself, and we won last week. We are now up, and we are up comfortably until the end of the season, which means no matter what happens between now and the end of the season, we are officially profitable. And that was the game. That was the game at the start of the season. Could we be profitable? Could you back me every week and end up with more money than you started out with? Yes is the answer. So we're a total profit of £61.99 for the season, which I think is fucking great. I'm always more chipper and more buzzing before starting a podcast when I know the weekend trebles come in. This week it came in, and it came in fairly comfortably. Hopefully this week's the same for the Saturday games. Starting off with the first selection is Saint Etienne versus Monaco, over 2.5 goals. Second selection, Bayern, over 1.5 goals against Leipzig. Third selection is Leicester versus Southampton, both teams to score. £10 on gets you £28 and 29 pence back. And again, we're just trying to make profit. Look, small stakes, big returns, or big stakes if you want to do it, and big returns at the end of the season is small returns when you place it. But the idea is to be profitable, and we are doing it. Stick with me this season. I'll be back next week, next Wednesday, and every Wednesday until the end of the season. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great week.
It's goalpost